Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Modern Warfare Remastered In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the M9, M1911, and USP pistols. Today's episode's very different. I don't think I've done a multi-gun episode in a very long time, but I felt that it was warranted here because the M9, M1911, and USP all have very similar statistics to each other. They perform very similarly, they feel similar, and at the end of the day, they get usage rates much lower than that of the Desert Eagle, so I felt it would be very repetitive to make 3 different episodes about them. So we got pistol gameplay for each and every one of them, but first let's talk about the damage. All of these pistols actually deal the exact same damage, that being 40 up close and decreasing to 20 at a distance, which means they are 3 to 5 shots to kill without stopping power. However, when you put stopping power on them, the damage increases up to 56 and 28 at a distance, meaning it is 2 to 4 shots to kill, just kind of depending on how far away you are. Again, one of the reasons I felt that they didn't need to be in different episodes is because they were so similar. All of them have the exact same maximum rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute, and that's a maximum because it's capped. It used to be 1200 in COD 4, but for this one they capped it at 600 RPM semi-automatic to prevent people with modded controllers and rapid fire and stuff like that using them like pocket SMGs. All of the pistols have surprisingly fast times to kill, mostly because they have 2-shot potential and they can drop you much faster than you expect. Most people are afraid of the Desert Eagle, but they forget that even the tiny little USP has a very impressive 2-shot kill range, and you should not underestimate them. They all also have the same reload time at 1.2 seconds, so downtime is minimal on all of these pistols, except the M1911 because it's got some ammo capacity issues, which we'll talk about in a minute. But let's talk about where they're different, because that's the real meat of this episode. It's going to help you make up your mind. One of the key areas in which they're different is the 2-shot kill ranges. All of the pistols have very different range. The M9 will only be able to 2-shot kill with stopping power, that is up to 8 meters. The M1911 up to 12 meters, which is a very significant improvement. A slightly smaller improvement, the USP can get a 2-shot kill up to 15 meters. This kind of surprised me. I figured that the M1911 would be getting the longer 2-shot kill ranges, or at least be the same as the USP, given the fact that they're the same caliber, but apparently that's not the case. I will say though, the USP actually has a wider hipfire spread than the other 2 pistols. The M1911 and M9 have tighter, easier hipfire spreads than the USP, so the USP has that downside, along with another one. The aim down sights times are 100 milliseconds for the M9, which is incredibly fast, almost instant as a matter of fact. 150 milliseconds for the M1911, which is also very fast, and the slowest of the bunch is the USP at 200 milliseconds. It's half the speed of the M9, and even though it is the slowest, I do want to point out that's still incredibly fast in Call of Duty terms, and that, to be honest, many of you won't be noticing that too much, unless you, if you're big into snap aiming, if you really like that insta-snap, then you'll notice it, but the average casual player probably will not. When it comes to recoil, from highest to lowest recoil, the M9 actually has the highest recoil, but saying that, I don't want you to think it's incredibly high or it kicks a lot. It really doesn't. It's very manageable, overall low compared to most weapons. The USP has slightly less recoil. It's not tremendously less, but the USP is a bit more accurate than the M9. And finally, the M1911 has the least amount of recoil in the pistol class, making it the most accurate and easiest to aim with. However, that is not the last thing to consider. Another super important thing when it comes to pistols is your magazine capacity, and that's where the M1911 is lacking. A magazine capacity of 8, that was kind of the running joke in John Wick 2, is that he got an M1911 and the magazine capacity was 7, didn't even have a round chambered. The USP is coming in the middle of the pack at 12, and the M9 has a very big magazine capacity of 15, so that's definitely going to be your spammer pistol. And at the end of the day, they're all very similar and very interchangeable for me. I don't have a super strong preference for either one. I will say, though, if I do have to pick a favorite, if I do have to go with one that I feel outperforms the rest, that's going to be the USP. It has the overall best 2-shot kill range. Most of the other stats are more in the average area, except the hipfire and aim down sights time, maybe not so hot. But I feel that the additional 2-shot kill range, the fact that I'm usually aiming down sights with it anyway, or if I am going to hip fire, it'll mostly be point blank. I feel that it has the overall best performance ratios, and just kind of as a personal feeling about it. I loved using it in the campaign. It made me feel like a real tactical operator, so it kind of fulfills that fantasy when I play online. Finally, an aside at the end of the episode, I have fired in real life 2 of these 3 weapons. I've fired the M9 and the M1911. I will say that the original designers of COD 4 and Raven and MWR have done a fantastic job recreating the sound and feel of these weapons just to a T. Excellent. I have not had the luxury of firing a USP yet, but I assume it's done well. And we have finally rounded out all of the guns on In Depth. So then the next question is, what are you going to do next, and will it be the DLC guns? I have decided not to spend any money on COD points to get the DLC guns, and it even feels a little bit wrong to do In Depth on them to promote them, but I have decided that I will do In Depth on any DLC weapon that I am able to get just through my merit of playing, in which case I do have the Kamchatka shotgun, so that one will be coming up. Guys, that's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.